Hello, hello, hello everyone, bonjour à tous. Je démarre en français, mais je vais passer en anglais tout de suite. Ce soir, on a un invité mortel. Tonight we have the great guest, one of the most important YouTube stars of all time. Yeah, and here we are. This is Cuckoo. Bonjour. Hey.
Bonjour, bonjour.
Ha-
Hello,
hello.
everyone.
How are you, sir? How are you? So happy.
I'm fine. I'm fine. How are you? It's good to
I'm
see you.
good. I'm good. You know, like 5 minutes ago, nothing was working. You know, like
Yeah,
my subtitle system is like in en équilibre, as we say in French. You know, something which may fall at any moment. You know,
yeah, yeah.
and stop working for some reason. But yeah, that's it. So for those of you who are watching this interview tonight, is going to be Mr. Cuckoo's interview. And this is going to be in English. I know for the first time in this channel we're going an interview in English, but I wanted to have this automatic translation enabled, so it's not gonna be very, very good translation, but I think it's gonna be good enough for
Yeah.
people who do not speak English. I think it's gonna be good enough for them. I hope, and for maybe the English-speaking audience. First, welcome. You know,
Welcome. Yeah.
welcome. This is a
Thank you.
French-speaking channel, so maybe you're not gonna find anything interesting for you here. But if you want to subscribe just to give some love, that's fine. And if you,
Do that.
if
I
you
check out your live stream sometimes, even though I don't understand much French.
really, that's
Yeah.
really strange for someone who's. Are you Swedish or are you Norwegian? I never. I don't know. I think.
My passport says I'm Swedish. I'm
Okay.
half Greek, quarter Swedish, quarter
Okay.
Norwegian. So I live
Okay.
in Norway.
That's a lot of quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I can add a quarter.
But first things first, because it took me forever to prepare this, so I'm not gonna continue without showing that to the world. It's gonna be quite short, but I think I prepared a small video which for me represents uh, Cuckoo on the internet, at least a bit of it, not all of it, and we're gonna talk through that during this
Cool.
interview. But let's have a look at that, okay?
Cool.
Let's go for it.
Hello, this is Cuckoo. 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 This is Cuckoo. This is Cuckoo. 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 Hello, this is Cuckoo. Hello, this is Cuckoo. Yeah, how about Paulina? That could be really cool to this song. Paulina. My nose. Yeah, okay. Long talk. Let's do it.
I had so much fun preparing that this afternoon.
Well, yeah, it's lovely. It's a lovely edit. Wow. Sick.
So, that's what I thought represents the most, at least for me, your persona, the Cuckoo channel.
Yeah.
But of course, for people like me and the people who are actually joining in the chat right now and watching this interview, we have to say to them it's not all of it, right? There's plenty of other things. Can you just tell us, what is your musical background first, so we can understand?
Yeah. I mean, there is not like one answer to that. The answer is probably very wide and complex and stretches out over 40 years of my life.
Oh,
I think I was always interested in playing keyboards whenever I saw them. So that was like a hobby of mine. And video games very early on was super important for me in terms of music and musicality. just hearing those tunes in video games when I was young, that was like a driving force for me. Always picking up video game tunes, trying to replicate them on some keyboard somewhere. And then we had like an electrical organ that I loved to play. It had a little rhythm section too, and 2 manuals. I played like upper and lower and made little melodies. It was always about making melodies, I think. I always took so much joy in making melodies and also trying to pick out video game melodies. So that's where it started. And then I was in music school in Sweden. There's like a certain type of school where musically talented kids can apply. It's like a regular school with maths and language and everything. It's only that there is music education once a day as well, side by side with everything else. So that was sort of a little formal introduction of musical language, like writing sheet music, understanding notes, singing in a choir. And and then later on, I actually wanted to I applied for a university of classical music. Like I wanted to become a composer, but I wasn't accepted at the time. I was like when I was 18 years old. And then I went for animation instead. So I'm actually a trained animator, 2D animator at the university. But I never let go.
You created a fantastic animated movie, Tindra's Light, that you published quite some time ago.
Like 5 or 6 years ago.
And it's absolutely great. Let me try to find that for our viewers. Tindra's Light, it's called, and I think there is 2 versions of it. There is a Japanese version, and there is also an English, Norwegian and an English sub version, which is this thing.
Yeah.
This look nice.
So this is an anime which is like 10 minutes long, something like that.
Yeah.
And you did everything, right?
I did everything, animation, script, storyboarding, coloring, making the backgrounds. And when we were trying to prepare this work, also the music, of course, which is like 90% continuum fingerboard, by the way.
Okay. That's the reason why I like this music.
It's the best. It's the best.
Yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. I watched it and I found it really great. So congratulations for that. It's not the work that people are following you for on YouTube, but it's another aspect of your art, which is quite nice, I have to say.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I worked really hard on that. And originally, we're trying to raise money for the film production. And my goal was to work more as a director in that project, because I've been within the animation industry here in Norway. It's quite small, but I was always the guy who made everything myself and made it really quickly. So when someone panicked, they came to me and it's like, okay, I'll solve it. But it's very stressful.
Yeah.
And with this project, we were trying to get enough money to have a little team, and we never got there. So we were left with this dilemma: do we just scrap the project, or do I do it myself again? And I decided to make it myself.
Again. Okay. Speaking of doing things quickly, what's with the mega tutorials, these kind of things?
It means you could sample into it. You could process samples, chop them up.
This video is probably one of the videos that made me buy an Octa track.
I remember exactly where I were at the point when I made this. I'm in a hotel room.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. It's a hotel room, actually.
Yeah, a hotel room in the west coast of Norway, in a small island. I can't remember if there was a bridge all the way out to this island, or if we had to use a ferry. But I just remember that place. It was beautiful. You step outside and you can see the ocean, and like out in the middle of nowhere.
So how did you come up with making tutorials like this? How did that start? Because there's a lot now on your channel. I didn't count the number of videos, but that's incredible, the number of videos. And some of them being like the best tutorials we've ever seen and we will ever see on plenty of gear, actually. How did that start?
It started out with the OP1. Maybe it started out before that. My interest in gear, and I think when I was waiting for the OP1, it had been announced, but it took a couple of years for it to actually come for it to be released. There was this Yamaha synth called Tenorion.
Yes.
It's a little square machine. Well, there you go. A little square machine with lots of LEDs.
Yes, yes.
Super fun. And I think around that point, somewhere there, I started to make little videos and started to make something. But when the OP1 came, it kind of changed. And I was so eager to show people everything about this marvelous little synth that was like groundbreaking and worked totally different from everything else. And still to this day, it's like over 10 years. And it's still very unique.
Yeah. It is.
So I started to make some videos where I can explain how I made it. I don't know. I didn't think like I'm gonna make tutorials. It's just something I started doing gradually, and I loved it.
Yeah. And did you know the teenage engineering guys already at that time, or
No?
you just bought the stuff and decided to make a tutorial?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, great. I guess
I
at the
started
time
to
now,
join
there weren't so many people doing that.
No, maybe not. Yeah, you're probably right. I think I started making videos with it, and at some point I had released like an album. It wasn't very well received or anything.
Yeah.
It's like putting out an album and nobody finds out about it ever. And I was going to work on my second album by the time when the OP1 came out. And I felt like, I don't know, maybe I should just give it up and leave all this stuff for professional musicians. And I told myself, I'm just going to do like one little goodbye song. So I made a video, a performance with the OP1 and created a song called Goodbye. And that became like the most viewed video at the time on my channel. And people connected with it, said like, yo, this is nice. It connected so much, resonates with me. So it kind of became the starting point rather than the exit.
And well, when was that actually? It was like 7, 8 years ago? What?
10. I think 10. It was within the first year of the OP1. 10 years, I think.
Okay.
Maybe.
And this one, you remember this one?
And I'm quite new to it, so
I'm
just going to try out some basic features. And
when did you start this mirror style kind of video? How did that came up?
And,
it was with the OP1 a lousy day where I was going to make a video, and I think I made a drum kit tutorial or something on the OP1. And I didn't plan it out. I didn't have any lights. I have a bad camera. Everything was set up to be a failure. And I set up the camera like, okay, I want to shoot this small synthesizer. I got closer and closer and closer, and it was like a typical office desk.
Yeah.
No, it just looked so unpleasant, and I felt like I would actually like to be in the video so people could see me talk. I think that would be helpful. Yeah. So I had a little mini mirror lying around. I just put it there, and it was just very spontaneous. And I felt like, yeah, this is the way to go. Okay. And it looked a little bit less terrible at the time, but then I started using mirrors more and more. And for me, it's like a visual logistics. How do you solve stuff in one shot?
Yeah. Without having to do complicated edits and stuff,
Yeah, my goal
multicam and
is always
stuff.
to make an amazing video in one shot with no post-production and no editing. Just go.
Yeah.
And of course, I end up having to edit everything. It takes many hours, but it's my goal.
Yeah, that's where we are. Well, it became your style, you know, this little mirror thing, and how did that? You know, you said you started with the OP1, and probably this kind of hardware resonates with the way you anticipate music and the video games music also, which represents a lot of your style. You know, when we hear what you do, when we listen to your music, it sounds like video games music somehow, you know, and it's great. The thing is, it's really unique. So how do you choose your hardware or your musical gear in order to fulfill your musical vision?
Yeah. I mean, my answer today is totally different from my answer 10 years ago. I mean, 10 years ago, I was new to this stuff and everything was exciting. It's like when the Tenorion came out, I was like, whoa, this is amazing. I just wanted to have that shiny, blipping machine. And I didn't think much beyond that. I just wanted to have it because it looked so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And the OP1 had kind of the same attraction, but then I realized very quickly that, wow, you can actually make a lot of quick productions with the OP1. And that became something that I treasured. Like to be able to make a little tune very quickly becomes something that I enjoyed so much. But now, fast forward like 10 years, and now maybe I put my standards a little bit higher for myself. So I'm still thinking in the same, maybe speed maybe isn't a real goal anymore, like make some stuff quickly, but rather find the good sound. And like if there is a particularly nice sound source that inspires me much more, or maybe equally as much as a really good workflow or user interface. Like for instance, the Mega FM, which is a Sega Mega Drive Yamaha FM synth, it inspires me so much. So that sound is just something
How couldn't it be? I mean, this is something that is used to create video games music.
Yeah.
And
fantastic.
This is totally what you like. So
yeah. But then again, like something like the Continuum fingerboard is the perfect user, like player experience for expressive electronic music instruments, which becomes an extension of your fingers. And then like that tight integration, fantastic sound engine and everything becomes an inspiration in itself. And then I just need to explore that and make music with it. So there has to be some sort of spark.
It's quite massive. It's quite massive. Okay.
You know, I think you had kind of a story with the Haken Audio guys. You know, every time we go to NAM or any other kind of place where you have like, you know, in any fair or anything like that, you're always around the Haken Audio booth somehow.
Yeah, I love them. They're like the uncrowned king of expressive electronic music instruments. And now with a new recent collaboration with Expressive E, it's gonna be it's like the perfect joint.
And there is actually a video of you. Just let me try to find this video. You have released something when it was a prototype
like
of the Osmose. Is that what we're talking about? the osmose from expressive E, which is this thing.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's 2 videos.
Yeah, there's the other video in in the background. Look, still playing. Sorry about that. I'm interested into how you came up having this device, because it's the prototype. We could see it's not visually perfect.
It was really special. It started out with Super Booth that year. Expressive E approached me and asked if I wanted to see a prototype of the next video, or of the next instrument. And of course, I wanted to do it. So we were a small gang of people who came in to see it. I think Loop Pop was there as well, and I was mesmerized. Instantly, I could hear that it was the same engine as the Continuum fingerboard.
Was that this small room at Superboost? Was it Superboost 2018 or 19?
Yeah.
Which was a very bulky keyboard, like 2 octaves or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it as well.
Yeah, that's the one.
I had my invitation in the room, which was great. Thank you, Expressive E.
Yeah. And then later on, I'm not sure if it was that year or maybe the year after, when the prototype became a little bit more closer to their vision, they
sounds really cool.
Yeah, it sounds good and it feels good.
Yeah, it feels fantastic.
So one of the engineers flew up to Norway with the prototype, and we set things up in my studio. And at the time, all of the DSP and electronics was external, so we hid it next to it.
Yeah.
And
so you actually had a computer just on the side?
Not a computer. Well, I had a computer to do to change patches.
Okay.
But it was a hardware. It was dedicated hardware, but basically it was like the internals of the Continuum fingerboard on the side.
Okay.
And connected with some cables.
Okay.
But now everything is internal and started to come together. I think it's nearing completion now.
It finally is. Yeah. It's going to be a fantastic device. It is already. So Electron.
Yes.
So we talked about the Octa track a few minutes ago. But I think you have a special connection with Electron devices, which transcribed into a connection with Electron themselves, I believe. How did that come up, really?
I think it seems like a lot of things start out on a very personal note for me, and then it grows into something that means much more after some time. So with Electron, I think my connection with the company started out. I read about it. I heard about it. I think I heard about the Octa track, probably one of the first ones that I heard about, because they made a big splash and a really epic video around the launch. And when I saw the Octa track, I absolutely hated it. I thought the design was just stupid. I didn't understand it. And I disregarded it, put it in the back of my head and didn't think about it much more. And then at some point, the Analog 4 was introduced. It had the same look as the Octatrack, and I still didn't like the design, didn't understand it. But the sound was so smooth, and the reverb was like super smooth, and I really enjoyed it. So I bought it and started to try to learn it. And during the same time, Cenk, who was a product specialist at Electron at the time, he had just started at the company around this time of the Octatrack and Analog 4. And I'd been in touch with him before because we were featured on the same OP1 compilation a few years earlier.
Yeah, this is the
And
guy on
so-
the left of the screen.
Yeah. And then he was in in the company now, and told me, he gave me a little hint. He said, "Hey, if you like the analog 4," and I did, but I couldn't really commit to it, and I didn't really crack the code. And I told him, like, I like the sound, but I don't know. It's like there's a threshold. Maybe it's too difficult. I don't know. And then he said, like, there is another device. I think you might like it. It's coming out very soon, and I'll give you a special price for it. And that was the first product that I was giving like a special treatment, because my videos had started to kind of get noticed in this way.
Yeah, okay.
And that was the analog keys. And the analog keys was my first proper Electron product that I started to grasp the whole concept, and I just loved it. And after that, I was hooked. All the Electron devices, I love the system. I love the sequencer, very powerful, and it's super cool.
And then it started to be a real connection with Electron, and that.
Yeah. I went with them to some of the trade fairs, like Musique and the NAMM show.
Yeah.
And I was part of the team demoing on stage, and
Okay.
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I assume it was. Yeah, and I think one of the key aspects of your YouTube videos is fun. Is really the way to go. I mean, we could see that straight away when the video starts with all the and stuff. It was not always like this, but it turned out to be something quite funny, and even sometimes, for those people who do not watch your videos yet, I strongly recommend that they do. But you need to have a bit of time, because these are not the standard YouTube kind of videos that we see, which are like 10 minutes or so. I think we have that in common, actually.
Yeah.
We do very, very lengthy videos, a lot of details, and it's not really YouTube standards. But what I like the most about yours is this fun aspect, and the fact that you're not taking it. I mean, you're taking it seriously, of course, but you're not taking yourself seriously. I mean, which is like, sometimes we see you in the video saying, "Oh, I didn't prepare enough this video and it's terrible," but you don't edit it. You leave it here, and it's really funny.
Yeah, I think there's something in the beginning when I started out making my first videos. I think I was like overly hyped and tried to push everything through the roof. I don't know. I thought in order to make a YouTube video, you need to be like super, super hyped. But after some time, I got more comfortable with myself in this video format, and it truly just becomes an extension of myself. Maybe I kind of concentrate a little bit more when I'm making a video than when I'm just hanging out, of course. But it becomes a little bit more intense. But it's just me, I want to live with myself putting out all of these videos. So I don't think I could do that if I was just playing a part. So I'm just being myself. Maybe even more myself than in real life, because in real life, I've got kids. I need to step up in the morning, make a lunchbox, and put my kid to the school, and all this life stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I walk to my studio, I kind of wash everything away and try to focus on what it is I want to do.
Yeah, I understand. And speaking about YouTube, how did you decide to create a YouTube channel, or did it came like this, saying, okay, I'm going to make some videos, and then it became a YouTube channel? How did that really start, this YouTube thing?
It started around the time when I made my first album. maybe a little earlier, which would have been in 2008 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, I was working full-time with animation, making short videos, music videos, and some snippets for MTV. I made like the Nordic channel ID for MTV at the time, together with
Nice.
2 other people. Yeah, and it was actually the longest standing channel idea that MTV had ever had. And we were really proud of that. It became really fun. And I made a little YouTube channel with my animation work. This was around the time when YouTube started, you know, it was new. And I didn't know much about YouTube. I just thought, hey, let's put some cool animation here, all my music videos. And it was called Palegolas.
Yeah.
So that's my YouTube, my company, animation company name.
Okay.
And by now I've lost the password of that channel, so I'm not sure how to reclaim it. But at some point, I started posting a couple of music things on there, and I quickly kind of felt like, no, I should probably separate animation and music. So I started a new one. And in the beginning, it was just for fun. And again, with the OP1, it kind of changed. And I saw that a lot of people connected to it and had a positive experience. It gave me a positive experience back with great feedback. So I think when you realize that there is communication going on, and that's when it becomes really, really beautiful.
You mean connection with the community and interacting with people who actually listen to your music and...
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, again, I think as like the goodbye song that became more of a hello song was the time when I kind of lowered the guard away with any type of facade that I might have had in front of me, and just be me. And that's when people connect, when you're at your most vulnerable, and
not trying to be someone else or lie to people. Yeah. Okay, well, that's interesting. And you know, I see that the style of video you're making is evolving a little bit more into some more artistic stuff. I mean, it has always been very artistic, of course, but I see more and more music. And you know, how do you see the YouTube channel going, you know, in the next, I don't know, 2 years or so?
Yeah, thanks for saying that. I think that is something that I want to explore more, and I want to up the quality from my standpoint. And the quality for me means not like cool titles and amazing transitions and tight edits. No, it's more about the artistic inner quality of the music and whatever is presented. I want it to be of high quality. And I think lately I've been thinking I want to focus more on smaller projects, give myself a little time. Like recently I made a little project with the model Cycles by Electron.
Yes.
And that was super fun to do that. Just take the cheapest of all of their devices, made a whole live set with just that, and then perform that in a one take. Yeah, this guy, look, he's having fun.
You seem to have a lot of fun,
Yeah.
Again, Electron, you know? Again. Why?
Yeah.
Because there are lots of cheaper devices out there, you know?
Yeah, I think their sequencer is really powerful. You can prepare a lot of stuff with that sequencer, and you can prepare a whole set of different songs, transitions, and with all the parameter locks. And I think the sequencer, if the sequencer would be as basic as what it is on the Volca series, for instance, I don't think I would be inspired to perform a whole gig on a Volca just because the sequencer is very limited. But here I could prepare a whole set with different vibes. Yeah, I like the sequencer when it's deep like that.
It's super powerful. Yeah. And what's even more amazing on the model cycles is that it's a cheap device. You said it, and you are right. And I think it was also on sale for a few days, just a few weeks ago, like $250 or something, which was really a bargain. And this thing has the same sequencer as all the other boxes.
Yeah.
And it's even more powerful because of the chance button.
Yeah, it's true.
And when you have a thing like that, which has also the MIDI embedded in it, if you want to do MIDI, you can.
Yeah.
It's really, really fun. I have one as well. And but I
think the sound is really nice.
The sound is really good, yes. FM, if you manage to get things right, I mean, FM is really a really good sounding engine. So
yeah.
But the difference between my usage and yours is that you seem to be much more experienced in live, and that is actually my next question. How did you get that experience?
Like the performance experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did that improve over time? How did that start? Did you face difficulties or things that were complicated to sort out?
Yeah. I think it started out with my album that I made in 2008, and I was gonna perform a couple of times with that material, and then I was in this dilemma. Okay, how do I perform this music? I had no idea. This was before I had any experience with anything other than Ableton Live.
Yeah.
So what I had then was, how did I do it? Ableton Live, and I had a Node Lead 2X, which is a very nice little fun synthesizer, keyboard, and vocals. And a MIDI keyboard. Yeah, like a super cheap MIDI keyboard.
Yeah.
And I also had a Muppet. Because one of the songs was a duet, and I couldn't sing that duet because the artist that sang with me, she was always busy, and so I had a Muppet to sing the duet with a little Muppet. Like it wasn't this Muppet, but here.
Nice. Kermit.
Hi. Hello.
Hi. Hey. Oh.
And so most of the stuff was playback through Ableton Live, and then I had like a solo keyboard. I played solos, and a friend of mine was playing some like backing, like a synth part. I just wanted one more guy on stage, just to have something more to look at during the live performance. But I felt like I didn't really enjoy performing with Ableton Live. It was too much playback and too little. Yeah, I didn't do too much with the music at the time. And then later, when I got the analog keys, I think that's when I started to really explore the live factor, both in terms of building up stuff on the fly, and also the OP1, of course. But with the analog keys, I actually performed a couple of gigs with only the analog keys, did all of the backing tracks with the analog keys, and then also solos and just vocals with some delay. And that was all. And I realized that, wow, I can actually perform a whole set with just this one synth. That is so cool. And it became a kind of obsession of being more and more hands-on, performing more and more. And I started to get more of the synths, like the rhythm came out, and the digitact. I used the digitact too, like digitact only performances, and the OPZ as well, which is like.
I think I have. I saw you playing the OPZ in France actually some time ago at Synthfest. You remember that place, the Synthfest in Nantes?
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember what I did. Yeah,
I think it was OPZ and Zoya, if I remember well.
Yeah.
And
that was like in the early days of the OPZ.
Yeah, just
maybe before it was released even. I
think it was still in beta. I think you had it was released, but it was still in beta because you had a beta version. So it was released, but you had the version ahead of everyone.
Yeah.
Because actually, can you tell us a bit more about how you managed to get the OPZ like a year in advance?
Yeah, sure. At the time, I had made so many videos with the OP1, and within teenage engineering, I became like well known, and they were very thankful for the videos that I put out. And we met during many of the trade fairs and became more and more friends. And when the OPZ came out, or started to trickle out in the news, I think we opened up a discussion between me and the lead designer and engineer of the OPZ, Jonas, which is a fantastic guy and amazingly intelligent, and with this whole vision. And we started to discuss what, like, he wanted to know how I felt about it, the one that I've tested, and the explanation that they'd given, and if there's anything. I just started to talk about it. And I went there, I had like a whole day with a very, very early on device which was crashing, and the buttons were really hard to press, and the rotary discs, they just got stuck, and a lot of problems with it. But they thought that at their presentation, it didn't get too much attention about it being a synthesizer or a music device. It got a lot of attention about the visual idea and everything else, but the music got lost a little bit. So they gave me a little opportunity to make a video which was only about the music.
Yeah.
So I did that, like a very early tutorial of an unreleased device. It was a little bit special. And then during that time, we had a lot of discussions, and they decided that I could be like the first external beta tester.
Yeah.
Everything was internal inside the company, and I was like the first external beta tester for about almost half a year. And we had a lot of great discussions. Actually, a little memory. I wanted to release a video about this, but someone in the management told me that no, I'm too drunk in this video, so I don't want it to be released. And I'll tell you what it was. Jean-Michel Jarre came to Stockholm to perform.
Wow.
And Teenage Engineering was invited.
Okay.
He invited them to go see the show. And they invited me, like, hey, come here and we'll put you on the guest list. And then we came there, and after the show, we got backstage to meet him and the team. And they wanted to present the OKLM to Jean-Michel. And he thought it was really good, had very interesting perception and questions. And it was a very nice moment. But when I showed the video to the colleagues, they're like,
"Oh no,
no, I'm too drunk."
Yeah. Okay. Oh, let me just try something, because while we were talking, I've tried to set things up so that we can actually have something here that would be interesting. Let me see if that works. Yeah. Does that work?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
This is you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were in Nantes, in the lovely city of Nantes, where I live, and you were invited to perform on stage. I think so this is the Synthfest. You were with a black box here.
Yeah.
And I think I have another video of you which is also interesting. Let me just check this one, because that is an interesting one where you were actually performing and something happened. Let me just check that.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
You remember that one?
Yeah.
So something came up here.
Let's see.
I think it's around here. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is really your music, We recognize that. Yes, this is really your style.
And I released it as an album later, a long time.
And it's not gonna happen here. I thought it was around here, but for some reason it's not here. Let me just move forward a little bit. Yeah, that's here. Look.
Over there.
Look. Yeah, that's here.
No, that was bad.
Oh no, that's not the moment. No. I was looking for a special moment
Tell me about it.
that happened during the show, which is
like it crashed.
It crashed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It crashed because you were actually using a beta, and
it did crash.
Well, that was just an illustration. I didn't want you to feel ridiculous about it, but it's just a nice souvenir, let's say.
There was something else that crashed in Nantes, and that was our interview.
Okay, let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about that. Yeah. Because every time we tried to plan an interview together, so I think before we do that, because there's a story behind all this, right? Mm-hmm. The first time, like, we just hit into each other, was like, I think at Super Boost, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. I think I hope I have the video. Let me just check if I have the video. And I think the first time I saw you, I was like, "Oh, this is Cuckoo! Oh, that's incredible!" And I don't know what happened at this moment, but probably the most stupid question, arrived in my head, which was actually about the beard. And I was like, "Okay, tell me about the beard." And I think, let me just check. I think it's this one. Yeah. It's this one. Let me just come to the right here.
I'm filming, No, that's all right. It's very nice to see very famous people in there, That's what I think is good with the Super Boost, as well as the NAM and so on, But man, I have a question. How do you do the beard? Because I'm trying to grow mine.
Translation is not working.
This is the secret.
I don't cut the beard.
Ah, that's why. Okay.
I don't cut the beard. So that was your answer. How do you do the beard?
There's hair in my face.
I can see that happening.
So that's the first time we met. Okay. And then
Maybe can you?
and then we had other occasions. I think I have a few ones I just want to share with the world because these were actually quite amazing. And I think maybe some things that happened was I always wanted to take a selfie, with you.
Yeah.
But I wanted it to be quite a special selfie. So I think one of the first one, I don't have all of them, but I have a few of them. I showed this one a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be special in a way that we don't see your face, and it's funny. And we were photobombed by Cenk from Electron on the left. And I think it's brilliant. It's a brilliant picture. I'm very proud of that picture. I really like it a lot. So it was very, very funny. And then I think the following year, we met, I think, at Superboost, or it was the same year in 2019, and this happened. And for some reason, it just came up like this, and I was like, "You're too tall." I told you you're too tall, and you did this, and we ended up taking that selfie, which is stupidly done. But anyway, that was one of the first moments what I remember from you as being quite funny moments. And I think I have another one at Synfest. Oh yeah, this one is great. Look at that one.
Whoa, that's dramatic. I'm like a ghost there or something.
So, and this one is actually the moment where we shot our first interview. So just for everyone to know what happened. So we were in Nantes at Synfest, and I set the camera, I set things up in a way which is useful, and we wanted a place where we could be with some silence around, because Synfest, as many trade fairs, is like places where there is a lot of noise. And if you want to have a quiet place to have an interview, it's very, very difficult. And the people who organize the Synfest, the people who manage that, they just tell us there is a small empty room behind the scenes that you could use. It's backstage, so you could be there. But for some reason, there was no light. So we ended up in that small room.
It was not a room. It was like
It was a corridor.
A corridor. Like a small transition between two corridors.
Yes, exactly. And there were a couple of doors that you could close, and ended up in this very small transition place between two locations, which was kind of a corridor, ended up being kind of a room. Anyway, I set the camera up, and I push start, and I'm with my microphone, and I start my interview. How long did we do? Like 30 minutes or something, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It was an actually very, very good interview. I have a very good memory of that interview.
Yeah.
And after the interview is done, I go back to the camera and realize it's actually shot in slow motion.
Yeah.
and
it turned off after
like 5 minutes or so. Yeah. So I have 5 minutes of us in slow motion doing an interview without sound.
Yeah.
That's actually amazing. So yeah. And because I was pissed off by this, we decided to do a second one, and you were so nice. You were like here for a couple of days or something, and you had plenty of things to do and things to check out, people to talk to, and you accepted to do a second interview.
Yeah,
you're really a nice guy. I have to tell people you're really a nice guy. And so we choose this time to go outside because this small room is just not great. We didn't want to go there again. So we set things up outside, and it's nice weather. It's lovely, and we start. And same scenario. No slow-mo this time.
Things seem to go well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you even double-checked everything.
Yeah, I did double-check everything,
Yeah.
and I think we did like a first shot of 12 seconds just to check that the video was okay, etc. So it was okay.
Yeah.
And we went through it again, 35 minutes interview, and fantastic questions, fantastic answers.
Oh, yeah. Amazing answers.
Amazing. And then, I want to just press play once we finish the thing, and I'm like, well, something strange happened because it says that my SD card is full for some reason, and it's not normal because my SD card is, there's plenty of space. I know for a fact that there's plenty of space on it because I just changed it like 10 minutes before. And something happened on the SD card, which made the interview not being usable. For some reason, the file was corrupted. And I was like, And so I didn't have my interview. So first things first, thank you very much for accepting this third interview. And like 10 minutes before this interview started, I ran into technical issues again, which I never had in my entire life. I rebooted my PC, and because it's a PC, and it didn't reboot like 10 minutes before we needed to start. And nothing was working like 2 minutes before it started to work. So that's the story behind it. So
redemption.
I think there's something about you and tech stuff that I think.
I tried to simplify all the tech stuff, and then the tech stuff doesn't really want to be simplified.
Someone says this was not slow-mo, this was Cuckoo.
Yeah.
For some reason, people think you are in slow-mo. No, he's not. Okay. Other topics. Look, I think we met as well at NAM, and I remember that when we met at NAM, there was kind of a funny moment as well. You remember when you were actually testing I don't know, was it the model samples or? Yeah, model samples?
I can only see the big, the still shot.
Oh, okay. For some reason it doesn't work, sorry. This thing.
Oh yeah, there you go.
This thing.
Of him doing a video.
Yeah.
And I started doing this thing.
This guy is gonna do a video of me doing a video of him doing a video. And this person is doing a video of this guy doing a video of me doing a video of this guy doing a video. Can someone please do a video of that person? Because that's gonna be someone who will do a video of that person doing a video of this guy doing a video of me doing a video of this guy doing a video. Yeah.
That's totally stupid. And this person on the right, he's from Sonicware. And I realized afterwards he's actually not speaking any word of English.
Yeah, that's true.
So that was a funny moment. I think every time you were trying to do something, I was around trying to mess things up.
Yeah, but
I'm a bit.
From you,
that's terrible.
I grabbed you when I tried the
the Nord
wave.
The Nord wave, exactly. We did this. You are right. We did this where I'm not sure I have that video actually.
I mean, that was on my channel.
Yeah.
Nord wave 2. No, I'm sure. It's still the photograph now.
Yeah. For some reason, it's still the photograph. Sorry, that's not the right one. Yeah,
dreams.
this one. And then you started to discuss and everything. So that was a nice moment as well. I liked it. Oh, look at that. Maybe I have it actually. I think it was at NAM 2020, wasn't it? NAM 2020. Let me just check what I have. Oh, I bump in you lots of time. That was at Arturia.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that guy.
Look at that guy. Yeah.
Same jacket.
With Martin Dutastar. Hello, Martin.
Yeah.
With Michel. You know, he's around, Michel.
And loop up in the background.
Yeah, and loop up in the background. Look, and this is Michel. He's in the chat, Michel.
Yeah.
Bonjour, Michel.
Bonjour, Michel.
And Seb Rochard in the background. Yeah, you were around. Yeah. That was a nice, cool stuff when you are at NAM. It's really great.
For everyone that has never been to a show like that, like the NAM show, or well, Super Booth is a little bit different, but it's very, very hectic. You cannot hear your own thoughts.
Yeah.
There's so much sound everywhere, and then you're supposed to try and find something and see if you like it.
And again, disturbing what you're doing.
Yeah.
That was the prototype of the slim version of the Continuum.
Oh, yeah.
With the Onde.
The slim version is so nice. I want it, but I still have
the other one, the biggest one.
Yeah.
This one, yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same, but it's updated firmware. This display more visible, easier to work with.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah, some new ports.
New ports, USB.
Nice and cool stuff, and I think I have actually the. Do I have it? Oh no, I have this one. Again at Sonicware. Oh, you're this guy on the left. You know this guy.
You again.
This one. This guy. He's the English translator.
What is it? Is it a new thing?
I like this guy, and whenever they release something, really.
So, and this is the person who actually translates all these things for the vendor.
Yeah.
He's not actually working for Sonicware.
No,
He's just a translator.
Translator. But it's super nice too. He's from Hawaii.
Yes, he is. Yeah, you're right. I remember the guy. We talked to each other as well, and I think I. Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
So on this one, you said, okay, you're always an ass, and you asked me to take the camera for you.
Yeah.
And this is actually the video which ended up on your channel.
Yeah.
So if you go and see the Nordwave 2 video of Cuckoo, this is actually the video I shot.
Yeah. I always work alone when I go to these places. So sometimes I'm really not that prepared in terms of having a good stand or anything. It's too heavy to carry around, like a good stand.
Yeah.
All for all days. So I tried to set it up in a meaningful way, but I just couldn't figure out how to do it on this stand. And then you were there and like, hey, help me out.
You
great.
Yeah, that
just
was
10
a good
minutes,
thing
I
to do.
promise. And you were like, I haven't got stuff to do, maybe.
Yeah. But that was fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back to your stuff, because we common stories together, which is great, and which ended up with us having kind of a relationship, in between moments like this, which is great. What about? Can you tell us about your song project? Lilybird. Is it called Lilybird? I think this is the first time I saw a video clip, very well produced of it. I mean, it's not like your other production are not great, but this one feels like it's a professionally realized product. Let me just grab it right now. And can you just tell the story about it?
Yeah, the song that you're referring to it's like a song that I've made many versions of. And like the first version sounds very different from the one that I made on an album. I had a version on the OPZ, on the OP1, lots of different versions. And this one is the one that I made an actual album version of. So I produced it, wanted it to be super lush. And then I had a friend who's a photographer and video photographer as well. I had this idea that I wanted to just be around in my city and dance with music that only I can hear.
Yeah.
And then Lilybird appears and I dance around her and she can't really see me. And it's a love story.
Let's listen to it for a little bit.
Yeah.
So is this Lilybird?
Yeah, I mean, it's a character.
Yeah, of course. So you took places from, is it Oslo?
Yeah, from Oslo.
Yeah.
It's in Oslo. So this is called a barcode district.
Yep.
And down by the opera house and the train station.
Well, it looks different than your other videos in the sense that there's an actual camera guy shooting it.
Yeah.
And very nice picture.
Yeah.
Nice light, nice colors and stuff, which is, yeah. So,
Sunny day.
So did it end up being something that you play live, or what's on your live set right now? Is this song on your live set, or do you improvise mostly?
I'm in between live sets, I guess, right now. So that version is something that I've performed a couple of times on the octa track. And then I performed different versions on the OPZ. And also, actually, as one of the default songs on the OPZ when it came out, one of the factory songs is Lilybird.
Oh, excellent.
So song project number 3 is Lilybird.
Wow.
That's really cool. It's the first time I've ever had like a factory.
So you are actually a preset.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And so, speaking about your music, generally speaking, how do you release it on platforms, or do you just mostly release them on YouTube, or just like this?
Mostly it's just YouTube, but I think I've had like an idea of what a release should be like, and it should be really good, well produced. It should be up there in quality. And I think maybe I should change my perception of what is being released on all the platforms. Because a lot of people ask me, like, hey, where can I find your music? And my answer is, like, on YouTube. And I realize that that's not a really good answer. It's not a good place to enjoy music. So maybe I should just, like, master the songs that I make on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then just say, like, it is what it is. It's a YouTube song, and it's ready now. It's not going to be part of an album. Let's get it out there on Apple Music, on Spotify, whatever, because it's convenient. People have that. That's where they build their own playlists.
And so therefore, reason why I was asking this question is just to come up on the I'm Not a DJ album that you released a few months back.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about this album?
Yeah. That is like the live set that you showed from Nantes.
Yes.
That is the live set that became I'm Not a DJ.
Okay.
And I think before that, 1 year earlier, I released this album that I called This Is Not Pop, or just Not Pop. And that album was something I'm very proud of, but it's I can't release it on the regular platforms because it's on YouTube. It's a YouTube music library music. So it will just meant to be released on that platform. I'm going to release it as a vinyl though.
Oh wow, cool
edition. Yeah,
cool.
Next year. But then it always bugs me that I never really fully release that live set that I made, because it was a good live set. I played it many times. Probably the live set that I played the most times ever. So I picked out the OPZ again and like, okay, let's do this. Let's make an album, wrap it up, and I recorded myself performing the songs live on the OPZ, and yeah, that became the basis of that album, which I'm really happy about it. Happy I made it.
So I'm now streaming the I forgot, which is the title of the song, and it's available on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, and it's called I'm Not a DJ. You have 5 tracks in there. Is that it? Or no, more than that? Sorry,
No,
10
more.
tracks. 10 tracks. 10 tracks. Yeah.
Yeah.
10 tracks. Let's listen to it a little bit. And that's really Cuckoo signature here, right?
It is Cuckoo's signature. I can hear it myself even.
And so, why I'm not a DJ? What's behind that?
I think it's a little bit of a joke, maybe, or like just playing with words and ideas and trying to. The way my brain works is that I associate things with other things. It's like a chain of associations, and it's always going on all the time in my head. With music, I associate some tones with some other tones, and then there's connection, and I go there. It's like improvising. And at some point, this is like, I'm not a DJ. That is something that I think almost everyone that has performed electronic music someplace are being approached by some people in the crowd saying, hey, could you play that song? And it's a great song by this artist. And then it's like they mistake you for being a DJ, and you're not a DJ, you're performing. Yeah. And it became a sort of little just joke. And I made a t-shirt which says, I'm not a DJ, I just make stuff.
Yeah. And for the record, we do not have the same t-shirt, because I saw this question on the chat.
Yeah. It's available in my t-shirt store, my merch store.
Yeah, so you have a merch store, and that's an excellent transition again. Thank you for that. What about What about monetization, generally speaking? How do you feel about that, and what's your opinion on it?
I think everyone needs to check with themselves. Where do I stand? How do I make money? How do I want to make money? I mean, I live in Norway. It's a freaking expensive country to live in, to be honest. I have mortgages to pay. I have a family. I have a cat. And,
it's very expensive to have a cat, yeah. Where is the cat, by the way? I saw it, but where is he?
Let's get him.
Yeah,
see him.
Please.
Hey.
Where are you, cat?
Hey. Cuckoo with a cat.
Yeah. It's a very nice cat. Seems to be very quiet. Just like you, actually. Quite cool. So do you monetize the cat then?
Yeah. Could you please send me the money? No, it's a little tragic story. We had a cat for about a year that was hit by a car. So he's no longer with us. He was black. But everyone was so sad about it. So my girlfriend arranged for a new cat. So now I have this little guy. Yeah.
I remember we had a conversation some time ago. Sorry, I'm coming back to the monetization question. Around advertisement. And you said to me, it's disgusting. I remember that particular day I would say, ads on videos, it's disgusting.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's a tough world. We all need to make a living.
Yeah.
And YouTube is perceived as a free place.
Yeah.
So content should be free. That is something that is forced upon our brains by Google.
Yeah.
Google is saying everything is free as long as we can show you these products before the video, and maybe in the middle of the video a couple of times, and by the end of the video, I just want to show you some products.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that. I don't like it. I would like if the world was wired differently. And so I'm taking a stance against that personally. That's why I don't monetize my videos. And I'm like 1 out of a million. That's what it feels like. And I don't blame anyone else. It's a very, like, for instance, if you have a YouTube channel for a younger audience, there's no way they're gonna pay you for your channel. They don't have money to pay for.
Yeah.
So for kids, you monetize by advertising. But then again, do you really want to advertise for kids? Do you want to put these products in the eyes of kids? That's even worse in many ways. There is a dilemma there, which I'm not fully on board with, that monetization being like the solution to everything, the solution to free content. So I don't really, I'm not on board for that. But I know that it's very convenient, and many people tell me also that you monetize. We don't care. It's fine. It's fine. We can take it. You get a little extra money. It's fine. We don't care. But for me personally, I care. So as long as I can choose not to monetize, I will not do it. But nowadays, a lot of people are kind of slowly accepting the idea of paying for YouTube.
Yeah.
And they have a commercial ad-free YouTube experience. And instead, their monthly fee is distributed among the videos that they watch somehow. And so little by little, I feel like there is a mindset that is changing, and the perception that, hey, maybe we can pay for this service.
Yeah.
And there's like a family account for YouTube without ads. And but in the same time, I'm using Patreon as my main source of income. So there's a number of hundreds of people that choose to support me out of their free will, which I'm super thankful for. And then the second stream of income for me is my web store, where I sell patches and sample packs and patch packs.
And without giving numbers, is that okay? I mean, for making a living out of it, or?
It's okay, and I can make a living now.
Okay.
But when I took my first step out and left animation behind, it was barely enough. But it's been growing, and I get by.
Okay. So I guess it was a tough decision to make, right? When you decided to stop making a living out of animation work to become a full-time YouTuber.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough decision, but it feels really right for me. I think the animation is really tough because you work so hard for a very long time on something that's very short. And then it takes forever, and then it's done, and the reaction you get is like, no, that's nice. And that's all.
It's better than a slap in the face.
It's better than a slap in the face, but it's still, it's like you put so much work into that. Like Tindra's Light, for instance, I put so much work in it. It's sick. It's like first painting all the background paintings. Those 70 background paintings took me a couple of months, And then
It's not a lot when you when you look at it. 70 paintings.
no, yeah,
2
it's
months.
like a machine, like twice a day, two paintings a day, maybe one sometimes if it's more complex, or maybe some days it doesn't really work, so I had to start over. It's super tough. And then animation, a couple of months of animation, and the music, editing, color grading, voice acting, director. Yeah, it's a long process. Took over 1 year.
Mhm.
And a lot of people enjoy it. I can see it,
Yeah.
especially when I show it with families. I can see that both the parents and the kids really grasp. And there's sort of some levels maybe in who you identify with as a parent. Maybe you see it differently than the kids. But it wasn't like anything that got any awards or anything like that. Awards go to forward-thinking, brilliant animation projects, where this was more of a conventional story, being told with conventional means. But yeah.
And another question I have is then when you made that decision to go full-time on YouTube,
Asking for a friend.
no, but the question, which is an important one for me, I have to tell you, it's how many subscribers or how many views did you get on your work on YouTube, which made you think that's fine, I can go for it now? Where were you at that time?
I think this is also something to do with monetization. If you monetize on YouTube and that is your main revenue, you need a lot of views.
Yes.
A lot of views and many videos. And you need to build up a good backlog of videos, or and if you don't get enough views, it's going to hurt you financially. So it's very delicate when you kind of feel like, okay.
Let me
we're at
rephrase.
that point now.
Let me rephrase then. So
let me just finish my reasoning.
Yeah, please go.
But when you have people supporting you, then you know that these people support you. Maybe they're not that many. Maybe there were just a couple of hundred people at the time, and they were supporting me. I knew that every time I put out a video, I have their support. So regardless of how many or how little views it will get on YouTube, I have their support, and that the mathematics of that becomes a really powerful picture. Like one person supporting you financially with a few dollars is more powerful than thousands of views on YouTube with ads. And the ratio there is really crazy. It's like, so if this person donates $4 for my work, it's even more thousands of views of ads. And that made me a little bit more calm about it. I don't need to hunt for views, but I can more satisfy my own desires of trying to reach that quality that I'm after, and hope that people vibe with that. So many of my videos, they don't get that many views, and then there are some videos that are launched at the same time as a product launch or something, and a lot of people search for that, and my video comes up, and then suddenly it's like 50,000 views, which is a lot for me. But even the videos where I'm just talking, I was thinking maybe I shouldn't do these videos, and people are like, no, this is great, I connect so much with these videos. But the YouTube algorithm, it says
did not connect.
Like, maybe you should not do these videos that much, because they don't see the value in the comments. They just see numbers. So I think for me, value, when I can see value, is coming from a connection between the ones that actually do watch my videos, not the numbers, but in their comments, and if they watch the longer part of the video, and I could see that, oh, they're taking a long time to actually write a very long appreciative comment, then I knew that this video is very good one, even though the numbers are low. So for me, it's all about like feeling that I'm being genuine, and also seeing that I can connect with people, and that it's meaningful for people.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Thank you for giving this very valuable opinion. I think, in these kind of interviews, what we do as well is we generally go through the studio, but you're at home right now. But
I'm at home.
Which leads me to this question that I have about your new studio.
Yeah,
so how,
there is a walkthrough.
There is a walkthrough video on your channel about your new studio. So how did that happen? You had a previous place before, so you moved places?
So actually, I recently moved back to my old studio.
Okay.
So what happened was, we were in this building that was kind of falling apart, and there's a whole organization renting out about 40 spaces or so for different kinds of artists. And the room that I had then was, if you freeze it here, the right window here, if you put a wall just where the TV is, and put a wall straight out.
Yeah.
I had the right part of that. That was a whole room. There was a wall there. So this is two rooms turned into one room. So someone else had the left part, and I had the right part. And now, when we came back here, they totally refurbished the whole house, made it really nice. And we were at a different location for 3 years while they were working with this whole house.
Okay.
So I was actually really stoked about getting back to the same spot, because I like that top floor and a little view.
Yeah. So you're renting here, right? Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's at a very nice rate, because the city is sponsoring this house to. Yeah, I'm not renting it for the actual value that it should be worth, but more the reduced value.
So now you're going to fill up that space with plenty of gear, I suppose. You already have plenty of gear.
I have a lot of gear. I made I built my own cupboards for it.
Yeah.
So by the end of that video, I think I turn the camera around and I have like a lot of synthesizers and shelves and stuff. And I want to have a space where I can focus.
Yes.
Focus on creating. Yeah. And also big enough to have guests.
Oh, yeah, I see. You mean more gear, right? Guests like new synths, right?
No. I think also, there's a lot of stuff coming out. It's ridiculous. It's so much stuff coming out all the time.
You can't keep up, really. I can't keep up.
No, and I don't see myself as a review channel. If that was my calling, if it's like, I want to make reviews and I want to check out everything and make good reviews, and then, sure, bring it on. Take all the stuff, make a review, and move on. But I want to focus on the creative side.
Yeah.
And I want to really go deeper into everything that I'm doing and make more music. Yeah. So I want to have I only want to have my favorite synths around, my favorite gear.
You're really a good at transition, I have to tell you, because that was my next question.
Yeah.
What is good gear today? These days for you, what is the type of gear that you really want to have in your studio?
Yeah.
These
For
days,
me, it's all about being able to express yourself. And there's a lot of great gear around today. Everything is good enough for making really great music. But I think my top gear always has like a certain. What are you doing? Hey, he's don't chew on that thing. Yeah. Okay. Bye. No, here's my favorite gear.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
No, there always need to be a certain level of ways of expressing yourself, and whether that is through, I think it's often something to do with the interaction between you as a musician and the instrument. If you can reach into it somehow and it responds, and you can be in the zone where 1 + 1 is not 2, but it's 10, and 1 + 1 is heart. There is this mysterious thing that happens that I think I'm always looking for. So the continuum fingerboard, a clear, special thing. You can play something, express yourself. It's wonderful, super special. Electrons gear, generally speaking, is such a great a sequencer, I think. So whenever I do anything with electron, you can always push it further and further and come to this place. Even though maybe when you start out, it seems, okay, maybe it's just you press some button and there's a sound. But if you just live with it for a bit and push it further, and then you can explore new territory, and it becomes something that blooms a little bit more than what you anticipated. And yeah.
And new stuff that are getting released these days, is there anything that really is ringing a bell? Or
the one that I know of that I'm looking forward to the most right now is the Osmos.
Okay.
Which is it's going to be mind-blowing. So I'm looking forward to that. What else is coming out or just came out?
This Erika Synth stuff, is it something that you would be
I haven't
client
really
for?
tried it. I think my relationship with Erika Synth's instruments is very kind of hit and miss. I tried something at Synthfest France, and it was amazing. And then I tried something else, and I was like, I really don't vibe with this. And I saw something else, like, ooh, this is super nice. It's very like all over the place.
Yeah.
So.
But no
know.
obvious thing that you have in mind right now, apart from the Osmos, I heard. Nothing is really blowing your mind right now, or you're not...
I think, actually, when Korg released the wave...
the mod wave.
The mod wave, that has a much better sound than what I was anticipating.
Yeah.
It really amazed me a little bit. And, I mean, that form factor synthesizers, there's a certain feel of the actual product that says, hey, I'm cheap. You can afford me. Yeah. And then it stops there.
Buy me.
Yeah. And then when you get it, of course, you can make some amazing things. Like with all of those, like the wave state, the
OP6.
OP6, and then the mod wave now.
Yeah.
But when the mod wave came and I tried it out, I was genuinely blown away, because I think it had such much higher audio quality than the other two. And it kind of separated itself from the trio with just genuinely very, very good sound. So it's this massive, amazing synth in disguise in this little cheap form factor. So that is something that I could see myself going really deep into the mod wave, because it sounds great.
It does. I actually loved it as well.
Yeah,
We released the
and also
video, and
knowing-
I was really amazed by these things, especially when you
Yeah.
consider its price. It's a
Yeah.
brilliant piece of gear. You know, everyone must own one, I think.
Yeah,
So
it sounds like €1,000 more expensive than
yes,
it is.
definitely.
Yeah.
It sounds like a hydrosynth, you mean?
But I think in many ways, I think the synthesis alone has a genuine glisten. There's something about it that it just sounds very good. It's kind of hard to compare to the hydrosynth. Hydrosynth is much more. It's so solid in the user experience, where the mod wave is maybe a little bit more scattered in the user experience. And but just knowing that, you can actually fill that up with your own wave tables, and wow, it's actually pretty open. Yeah, I'm looking forward to putting in my own wave tables there.
Okay, well, Cuckoo, thank you very much. Maybe just right before we leave and that I give you back to your life, any kind of projects or going on right now you want to talk about? Or
I think my ongoing project, ever since I moved to this new studio, is gonna be more here than what's actually coming out in on the screen. It's a mental game to learn how to focus a little bit better.
yeah,
I have a clear idea of what I want to do. I want to change my workflow into focusing on a project and not a million projects.
Yeah.
Just one for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. It could be a super small project. It could be a longer project. But I want to allow myself to just focus on that project. And then when you're done, show all the fruits that came from that project, and then move to another project. And just don't let myself be tempted to check out all these different things at the same time, because I know that if I get into the zone and focus and stay there, I can make some good stuff that I'm really proud of. And because I've done that several times, and it's also always when I focus. So that is going to be my number one thing. It's like a mental game. And more immediately, today I I prepared my modular case.
Oh.
And I got some modules that I've been waiting for. They're not new, but it's stuff that I've been really looking forward to using.
Yeah.
So I would like to do the same thing that I did with model cycles. Okay, this is my setup. Let's go and make a little set with just this. Not think about all the possibilities that you could have. No, this is the setup. Let's go. So I want to make a smaller set with that thing.
I think there is quite an interesting video. I mean, all of your videos are quite interesting, but if you're looking into, I'm trying my best to get back to. No, I think if you're looking into how to choose a setup for a live performance, you did a series, I think was it like 2-3 years ago, where you documented the whole process of it. And I remember this was really, really interesting because you thought about why, how, and the conclusion of it was, you gave plenty of thought into it and ended up with something which was, I think, quite quite good in terms of its performative aspect. So if you're interested into these guys, you can check out Cuckoo's channel, and there is somewhere. I will try to put it in the comment or in the description. I think we still have some questions in the chat. I'm not entirely sure we can go through them because it's already been like nearly 2 hours we're talking, and I want to give back Cuckoo's life to where it was before we started this interview. So
yeah, I'm gonna put my son to bed.
Exactly. So thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
That was a great moment. I really deeply enjoyed it. For those of you who don't know Cuckoo, please check out his channel. It's plenty of things in there, plenty of really, really interesting stuff, and with a very, very interesting and nice philosophy. It's very, very inspiring. And well, thank you for being there and being the person you are, you know.
Thank you so much for the kind words. And thank you everyone for coming and staying for this little chat.
Yeah.
And and everyone who's reaching out in the comments. I read comments and I get touched by people reaching out. So thank you.
Thank you. Au revoir tout le monde. Thank you for being with us tonight. Bye bye. Bye.
Bye.